Hi, welcome to MobileCreator tutorials. In this video, we're going to show you how to organize the layout of your mobile site. We'll start a new empty project for this demonstration. Click on New Project, choose the empty project, click on Next, Next, and Finished. Let's take a look at the element menu. Each element of a project is always placed inside a container. The header or the footer, a picture or a panel are all placed inside the page, which is a container. These elements are also containers themselves, so the whole page is constructed like a set of nesting boxes. The header inside the page, an image inside the header, and so on. Let's go ahead and add some elements to our page. How about a header, a footer, a panel with a button inside it, and an image. There can be only one header and footer per page, and the program will alert you if you try to add more. However, there can be as many images and panels as you like. So what is a panel anyway? Think of a panel as a way to organize the page. It marks off a rectangle of space and contains other elements such as pictures, buttons, or even more panels. An element is always positioned with regard to its container, like an object that you put in a box and whose position is then given with regard to the box's walls. Containers create the layout of your page and ensure that everything stays organized no matter how the page is viewed. Remember, since this is a mobile site, a viewer can rotate the phone. We want the layout to be flawless and consistent, and when the phone is turned, we want to allow elements to move in order to be viewed in the best way. By using containers, we define an element's position so that when the phone rotates, the elements always reposition themselves with regard to one another in exactly the same way. We'll see some examples of this in a minute. Now let's check out the tree view. It shows the file name and the types of elements in what's called a dependency tree. So here, the header, the panel, the picture, and the footer depend on the page, and the button, it depends on the panel. The order in which they are listed is also the order in which they are shown on the page. The tree view lets you visualize the hierarchy of the web page. You can think of it as a map of what's inside each set of nesting boxes. Let's visualize how containers and hierarchy affect layout with an example. Here is a page containing a header, a panel, which contains 5 buttons, and finally a footer. Look how the buttons line up one after the other when the phone is rotated. The buttons behave like characters in a line of text. When the phone rotates, the page gets larger, and all the buttons can fit on one line. By default, they are centered. Changing element alignment will be covered in the next tutorial. Say instead, I always want the 3 buttons at the top, followed by the 2 buttons on the bottom, like in the visualization pane. One way of accomplishing this is by using a container. This page looks pretty similar to the last, but it contains a header, followed by a panel containing only 3 buttons, followed by a panel containing only 2 buttons, and finally the footer. See how the display is different? The buttons 4 and 5 now depend on the panel 2 for their position, and the panel 2 always places itself after the panel 1. Now we have exactly the layout we wanted. It's that easy. For more tips and tricks, check out our webpage at the following link.